All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to tackle a question that honestly keeps so many parents up at night. What happened to us? We're going to explore why your partnership can feel so strained after having kids, and more importantly, how you can find your way back to each other.
So, does this shift look a little familiar? Yeah? On the left, maybe that's you before kids. You got that natural spark. The partnership felt easy, there was spontaneity, and then, after kids. It can feel like a constant fog, right? You're exhausted, you're touched out, and your entire relationship feels like it's been boiled down to pure logistics. If you are nodding your head right now, you are definitely in the right place.
So we're starting with this idea, this feeling of being in a fog. And if that's where you are, the most important thing to hear right now is this. You are not alone, and your relationship isn't broken. You're just in a new and, frankly, incredibly demanding season of life.
Seriously, let this one sink in for a second. That feeling of disconnection is not a personal failure. It is a completely normal response to one of the most overwhelming and transformative periods a person can go through.
Now, while this is a pretty universal experience for parents, external factors can really crank up the stress, and this is especially true in a place like San Francisco, where a very unique set of pressures can push a partnership right to its limits.
And here's what that looks like. We're talking about these massive external pressures. Think about it. A dual career, optimization culture where both partners are stretched incredibly thin. Then you pile on an insane cost of living, being far away from the support of extended family, that village everyone talks about. And on top of all that, there's this intense performance culture in parenting itself. These aren't personal failures. They are powerful environmental forces just squeezing your relationship.
Naming these pressures is so critical because it lets you stop blaming yourself and it lets you stop blaming your partner. That distance you feel, it's not a lack of love. It is a predictable response to some pretty extraordinary demands.
So, when all these pressures start to mount, couples often fall into a really specific, painful pattern. It's a dynamic so common it's actually been given a name, the Waltz of Pain. And this is the core dynamic. It's a cycle where one of you tries harder to connect, to talk, to solve the problem, that's the pursuer. Meanwhile, the other one feels overwhelmed and shuts down, needing space, that's the withdrawer. And the more one person pushes, the more the other one pulls away.
Now, this is so important to understand. Neither of you is the villain here. The pursuer isn't being needy, they're just desperate for connection. The withdrawer isn't being cold, they're desperate for safety from all the overwhelm. Both feelings are completely valid, but the reactions create this destructive loop that just pushes you further apart.
And this is the heartbreaking result of this dance. You're both trying so hard to get your needs met, but you end up in a place where each of you is convinced the other one is just checked out. You both end up feeling completely invisible.
This painful dance often begins because something crucial gets neglected in all the chaos, the sovereign us. This is the part of your relationship that's just about the two of you as partners, not as co-parents. It's the inside jokes, the shared history, that private world you built together. And when that foundation gets buried under diapers and deadlines, the whole family structure starts to wobble.
I want you to think about those circular fights you have. You know the ones I mean, the ones about the dishes, or who's more tired, or who forgot the recycling. Well, it turns out, those fights are almost never about what you think they're about. There is something much deeper going on.
So, what are you actually fighting for when you're arguing about who forgot to buy milk? The answer is both surprisingly simple and, at the same time, incredibly profound.
It almost always comes down to just two hidden questions. Two fundamental needs that aren't being met, which then get channeled into all these fights about logistics.
The first question is this: are you there for me? This is all about presence. It's asking, can I count on you? Are you on my team? When I'm completely overwhelmed, do you even notice? It is a raw plea for connection.
And the second, equally important question is, do I matter to you? This one's about value. It's asking, am I still special to you? Do you still see me as a person you desire, or am I just your roommate and the co-manager of this whole household operation?
Okay, so we've identified the fog, the external pressures, that painful dance, and the hidden questions underneath it all. Now let's talk about the way out. The solution really begins with a powerful shift in your mindset.
And this right here is a total game changer. The goal is not to stop fighting. You're two different people under immense stress. Of course you're going to have conflict. The goal is to get really, really good at finding your way back to each other after the fight. That skill, the skill of repair, that's everything.
So here's a simple but really powerful tool you can use to practice connection, the appreciation protocol. It's just 3 steps. First, you notice. You pay deep attention to what your partner is doing to help. Then you name it. You speak your specific appreciation out loud. Not just thanks, but thank you for making that call to the school. And finally, you receive their appreciation without deflecting it. Just let it land. Just say, thank you.
Using tools like the appreciation protocol is a powerful start. It really is. But sometimes, to truly rebuild that core foundation, you might need a guide.
We really have to reframe how we think about getting help. It is not a sign of failure. It's a sign of wisdom. It's kind of like hiring a personal trainer for your relationship, someone to teach you the skills, coach you through the tough reps, and help you build a stronger, more resilient core.
And that's the real takeaway here. This incredibly intense season of life doesn't have to break your connection. With intention and the right skills, it can actually be an opportunity to forge a partnership that's deeper and more resilient than ever before.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. What if all this chaos is actually an invitation? An invitation to learn how to truly show up for each other, to learn how to repair, and to build a sovereign us that can weather any storm. What if this is the very thing that makes your partnership unbreakable?